Hello, greetings, and thank you for joining me in another episode of Too Hot for FB XXX. Now, the reason I use XXX is because a lot of time on these social networks, if you use things, or on the internet, you use things like XXX or Too Hot, a lot of times people see that as a sexual video or sexual purpose. So that's why I use it. Now, I want to try to stay focused on the prejudiceness here in Wilmington. And why I say here in Wilmington is because I'm from Wilmington. I was raised in Wilmington. I'm a product from the 60s of what Wilmington and how Wilmington treated Afro-American young men and young women, even our parents, how we were treated. And you know, it is a shame that it still goes on, but it's in a more modern way, whereas though our young children most of the time cannot see it to understand it, and they bring it home. Now, I made a comment about what children, Afro-American children, learn at home. So for those of you that are white that need a little education on what Afro-American children with two parents in the household learns, keep your ears open. But first I want to tell you, well, I can't tell you, but I can explain to you, because trying to tell another human being something is like you knocking your head up against the wall, because I don't want someone telling me anything, but I would rather you explain it to me, and then I can comprehend it. So I want to explain this to you, so-called cream color, white, Caucasian people. Now you can pick whatever color out of there you want. But this is basically to give you a little bit of education about Afro-American brothers and sisters, light skin, brown skin, dark skin, all the different colors that come with Afro-American brothers and sisters. Those that have had children by white women, it don't matter. They still Afro-Americans because the bloodline comes from us. So I'm not going to tell you that I'm colorblind. I know the difference in the different shades and colors. Now, a couple of y'all said that I need to mind my business because it's just about me. No, it's not just about me. It's about whoever comes on this social network talking about their own race of people, and they're blackballing them. They're talking down about them, making them try to look bad so they can look good. If you're an Afro-American brother or Afro-American sister and you fall, then your brothers and sisters that see you fall should try to help lift you up. But not in the Afro-American communities. They'll talk about you. They'll write about you. Some of them will even stab you in the back. In the Afro-American community, I talked a little bit about Uncle Toms. Now I'm going to let you see my face when I talk about Uncle Toms, because Uncle Tom is somebody that I learned in the 60s was a tattletailer. But today we call them snitches. And what they do, they infiltrate our communities to see what we're talking about, see what we're trying to strategize with, and then they go back to those that are in leadership position and tell them, hey man, you better hurry up and do something about this, because they talking about doing it in the next couple days. Then all of a sudden you hear about it in the state office. Oh yeah, we're getting ready to do this, we're getting ready to do that. That's how they formed Downtown Vision. That's how they formed Connection. They took the ideals from other Afro-American community leaders and community programs and made the program for the state so the state could run it and operate it in our communities. That doesn't help Afro-American brothers and sisters. But I remember as a child when Martin Luther King was assassinated, and how black men and black women and all of these people that was in our communities joined together and started strategizing and said, okay, now that the white people done moved out, what are we going to do? They started opening up businesses. I remember there was a time where we could go in our community and we could have a party. We could go to the King Center and sit down and watch a movie or see a play in our community. I remember discos that we used to have in our community for the youth. I can remember we didn't need to have the PAL Center because we had the boys clubs and the girls clubs, and we had them where they were able to separate, to tell the difference from boys and girls and from young men and young women, and how to be courteous and how to be respectful. This was in our community. You white people came back to the city and you tore down all the work that the Afro-American families and men and women worked so hard for here in Wilmington. It's a crying shame. And you know, you took away our schools. And now you bust us out there with your white kids. And your white kids are ignorant as hell. They are some ignorant white kids. I don't care who don't like what I said or not. I have the right to speak my mind and what's in my heart. And they were ignorant when I was in school. I had just started the busing from segregation. And we had to go to school, not going to school prepared to learn, but we had to go to school prepared to say, man, if them white boys catch us in the hallway, we better be ready. We better be ready, because they're gonna try to assault us. They're gonna try to hurt us. And a lot of people in my age bracket, and I'm going to name some. Not to put you on the spot, Potter, but you was in there. You know how hard it was in Burnett, in PS, in Warner, for us to have to leave those schools and go out to Delaware and go out to all these little Concord School and all these little schools in William Penn and all those schools where you knew we was not never wanted. We fought to have respect. And the only thing that's going on now is that our youth are fighting the best way they know how. Because you took away the right of Afro-American mothers and fathers to discipline their children. We don't have the luxury anymore to go on the street corners and tell our children to get off of the street corner. And if they don't get off the street corner, grab them and force them off the street corner. We can't do that as parents anymore, because your society has made it where as though if we do that, we could be arrested for cruelty to children, abuse to children. So you would rather deal with them by locking them away, taking away their civil and constitutional rights. You'd rather lock them away so you could tell them what to do. So don't tell me about prejudice. Because it's prejudice to know that almost 60 to 80% of Afro-American men and women, brothers and sisters, fathers, grandfathers are incarcerated, getting not 1 year or 2 years, getting 25 years to life. And y'all want us to accept that? No, we cannot accept that. And sooner or later, the Afro-American communities are going to explode, because you have the media in there making us look like we're the villains. We're not the villains. We are a product of what you have created in our community. I'll be back with another session. You stay tuned.